Welcome into the five-star sit-down. We are just a week away from signing day, a busy time of year in the recruiting landscape here in Arizona. Devin Henry's going to join me in a little bit, but first I am joined by Jeff Bowen, the ACU head coach. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's a very busy time of year for you.
Oh, my pleasure.
So over the past few years, it seems like really since the football program came into existence, every high school sideline I'm going to, there's 2 to 3 to 4 ACU coaches on that sideline. How did you guys really build that strategy, really from the Donnie Yantis days now into, when you took over the program? How did you really build that strategy to recruit the state here in Arizona?
Well, one thing that's been really helpful is we've got a lot of coaches on our staff that are actually Arizona coaches. They've spent most of their career here in Arizona, so it's pretty easy to just take the valley and break it up into we grid up the whole valley, and we make sure that we're hitting all the schools and just building those relationships and stuff like that. So if we're not on the road, we're going to be out at just about every game we can get to on a Friday night.
Mm-hmm. When you look at where the program has gone from, its inception to now, in terms of brand recognition and getting in front of, those coaches and, like you said, building those relationships, just how have you seen that growth happen, specifically in the past couple of years since you took over?
Well, I think, the main change in Arizona is just the knowledge of small college football. When we first started at ACU, there was no small college football in Arizona, and you're sitting in the 5th largest metropolitan area in the nation. So it was definitely a need, but there was still that unknown of what is this really going to be about. And now it's evolved into, as you look at the list of recruits coming out of Arizona, obviously, we have great talent that goes on to the Division I level, but if you look at the massive number of student athletes that are going to not only play for us, but play for other small colleges across the country from Arizona, it's huge. So it's definitely evolved over the last 5 years.
You mentioned the small college scene here in Arizona. A lot's changed in the past couple of years with Ottawa now coming into the fold, and the junior colleges. Things still seem to be a little bit up in the air about the future of junior colleges. Just how have you changed your recruiting strategy, kind of as those changes have come throughout this Arizona scene?
It really hasn't changed all that much. To be honest with you, it's unfortunate what's happened with the junior colleges, and everyone thought that the small colleges might be glad about that, and I'm not. I'm an Arizona guy, and I don't think junior colleges not having football in Arizona is good for Arizona kids. So it's not like all of a sudden we got 200 more kids coming to us because the JUCOs aren't there. What's happening is the kids are going to leave the state. And that's unfortunate. If they don't sign with us or another school within the state, they're going to look at junior colleges outside of the state, and that's disappointing. And what it actually hurts us, because next year when we're trying to find our mid-year signees for spring semester, the pool has definitely shrunk because we won't have those in-state junior colleges available to us anymore.
Mm-hmm. When I look at your roster, I do see, obviously a lot of in-state high school guys, from, the Centennials and the desert edges of the Arizona scene, but also plenty of those junior colleges, of those city colleges throughout the entire country. How do you balance a roster between having those high school players coming in, but also having some guys that may have logged some college time already?
I guess that's the secret to it. If you can figure out how to have that balance every year, that's you can make a lot of money telling colleges how to do that. It evolves every year. It's just really needs of the roster, and just like any level of college football, college athletics has become so transient, and kids leave schools to go to another school because they think it's a better opportunity. So your roster is always evolving, and you got to look at it positionally. Are you set at that position, and so you can recruit freshmen, or are you a little thinned out? So now you need to get some experience from the junior college or transfer level. So it definitely changes year by year.
Mm-hmm. Now, ACU is moving to a new campus, I should say. That means new facilities for you, a much bigger campus in general. How do you think that will help your recruiting efforts, getting guys on campus to check out this new campus?
Oh, it's already helped. It's amazing that the campus, the original, School of Management, Global Management was an amazing campus. Then when ASU took it over and the changes they made, the infrastructure they built within that school, and now it's ours. It's an amazing time for Arizona Christian University, not just for athletics, but for the university and general students as well. The facilities are going to be second to none. So it's definitely helped in the recruiting process. We'll have our largest recruiting class ever by next Wednesday when everybody makes their announcements and stuff. We're really excited about it.
So I know you can't talk specifics about the class, but do you have a ballpark of how many players you're anticipating to sign?
Well, we brought 41 on campus for spring.
Okay.
New guys, and then it's hard to say right now. It's so fluid, but it'll be the largest recruiting class we've ever had, and we're excited about that. It's a good mix of junior college and transfer guys that we have on campus already, and the high school commits that we're getting right now. We're really excited about. We're very intentional in where we were recruiting in not only our state but the surrounding states. So we're real excited about it, and it's going to be a really good class.
Coach, we appreciate the time and the insight. I know it's a very busy week for you, and like you said, a fluid situation for a lot of these recruits, so I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to sit down with us on the 5-Star Sit Down. Good luck the rest of the way as we approach signing day.
Well, I appreciate you having us on. We're excited. Thanks for the coverage, and roll Storm. All
right, take care, Coach.
Thanks.
That is Jeff Bowen, the head coach of the ACU Firestorm. And obviously, with the new facility, that's going to be a game changer. It is a gorgeous facility that they're now moving into. And I think, ACU has certainly grown into that. So to have those kind of facilities that match on the west side, close to quite a few different campuses, high school campuses specifically on that west side, I think that's going to be huge. And as you can tell, he said it's going to be the biggest recruiting class in the school's history, and I just can't say how good of a job that this ACU coaching staff has done really from the get-go. When Donnie Annis was the head coach, Jeff Bowen was kind of there from the get-go as well, and then he took over once Donnie left and moved over to ASU. But a couple years ago, when I started with this company, one of the first stories I did was that first signing class. This was a team that was really an idea, and now it's a concrete thing, and they've won a lot of games already, and they are continuing to recruit hard, and it's good to see both them and Ottawa certainly making their mark. Like Coach Bowen said, that the small schools, there really wasn't much of that in the past couple of years, or prior to a couple of years ago, but now they have 2 programs, and we'll see what happens with all the JUCOs as well. So coming up next, we have Chris Ball. Devin Henry and I are going to sit down with him, talk all things NAU, and talk about, he has some ties to Coach Pflugrad, obviously currently on the staff with him and Aaron, but they go way back, so I'm sure there are some pretty good stories there. That's coming up next on the 5-Star Sit Down.